Fiora W ability, Parry, is arguably the most powerful basic ability in League of Legends. This is because it gives her the highest outplay potential and if mastered, makes Fiora the strongest 1v1 champion in the entire game. And being able to react to and parry some key abilities can flip a lot of brutally losing matchups to literally free kills on site. Many of these key abilities have a very low cast time. You see, in League of Legends, the lowest cast time possible for an ability is 0.25 seconds, aka 250 milliseconds. And at the same time, the average human reaction time is 200 milliseconds. That's average, not even a good reaction time. So why does it feel almost impossible to react to some key abilities like Darius E or Nasus W Weather? The reason is your setup is probably dog shit and inefficient. We are kinda working on a time budget. You see, everything that happens from the moment Darius casts E to the moment Fiora casts W should not exceed 250 milliseconds. And there are 4 key components that we can shave off some time for our time budget. And number 3 is literally a competitive hack that everyone should be using. And those are, first, your ping. There are 2 ways to reduce your ping. First one is kind of hard, which is moving closer to the server. Second one is using a VPN or a software that reduces your ping, such as exit lag. This will reduce around 10 to 15 milliseconds from our time budget. The second component is monitor refresh rate. You see, everything that your PC or GPU processes, your monitor shows it to you with a delay. This delay is called refresh rate. To have a lower refresh rate, you must have a monitor that has high FPS. On your computer, go to the Windows settings, monitor settings, and make sure your monitor is set on the highest FPS it can operate on. This should shave off around 7 to 10 milliseconds from our time budget. The third component is, which the one that I think is literally a competitive hack, your keyboard actuation point. You see, an actuation point is the distance that the key has to travel down after being pressed to register into your computer. Regular keyboards have an actuation point of 4 millimeters. Mechanical keyboards have an actuation point of 2 millimeters. Rapid trigger keyboards allow you to adjust your actuation point to as low as 0.01 millimeter. This is 20 times less distance to travel for the key. The most popular rapid trigger keyboard is of course the Wooting, but it's kinda expensive. Even if you go for a more budget option, it is still better than having a regular ass keyboard. For the purposes of making this video, I ran multiple reaction time tests on human benchmark to compare 0.01 millimeter actuation point versus a 2mm actuation point, and the results are as follows. The worst possible improvement was 20 milliseconds. The best possible improvement was 50 milliseconds. I ran around like 7 to 8 tests and the average was 30 to 35 milliseconds improvement. This component is literally the game changer, I'm telling you. The fourth and final component is obviously your human reaction time. Now there are only 3 things that can actually improve your reaction time. Everything else is kind of bullshit except cocaine, but like that's not really realistic. So the first thing that you can do to improve your reaction time is high caffeine intake. This is like take a lot of coffee or pre-workout before your league session. The second thing is anticipate the ability. That means hyper focus on the enemy character model and try to detect any changes. This should be the easiest when they are chasing you because they will stop their movement to cast the ability. Other situations is gonna be kinda harder, but this is where the skill lies. If you hyper fixate and really anticipate the ability, this will improve your reaction time immensely. The final one to improve your reaction time is having an 8-hour good night's sleep. This is the one that was most proven by studies, and anecdotally I can say it also helps a lot. So if you implement those 3 things, the reaction time should improve by around 20 to 25 milliseconds. Now here's a comparison between someone who has very low ping but no optimizations whatsoever and someone who in my opinion has the highest possible ping. If you have a ping higher than 50 ms, I think you cannot react to anything. The minimum you must have, or the maximum rather you must have, is 50 ping. So the guy with 50 ping has all the optimizations, and we can see in the total down there he still has more in his time budget, whereas the guy with no optimizations but low ping, he exceeded the time budget. So now it makes sense. Even though you might have low ping, it's still super hard to react to Darius W or Darius E rather. So the key is, if you have all components optimized in tandem, I can guarantee you will have 90% or more success rate using your parry. So yeah, I think that's it. Follow me on Twitch, subscribe here, and yeah, see ya.